Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Friday, August 8, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. PB General Secretary Dr. Bharat Jagdeo unveils a region-by-region development plan ahead of elections. UN report says Ghana leads Latin America with 10.3% growth in 2025 after a 43.6% surge in 2024. Ghana's largest FPSO, One Guyana, begins production, boosting oil output beyond 900,000 barrels daily. And flood-hit Linden gets urgent relief as cleanup begins and the Prime Minister visits affected communities. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, PBC, Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, has unveiled a comprehensive development plan for every region, forming a key part of the party's re-election campaign. Speaking at his weekly press conference at Freedom House yesterday, Dr. Jagdeo outlined targeted initiatives designed to address the unique needs of regions across the country.
Region 10 has its own comprehensive plan that is not even part of those things that you see there, all of the things we've put on the flyer, which is a synopsis of what our plans are. These are just basic general things that we do, but we have area-specific plans for each region of our country.
He also spoke about Region 2, noting several development priorities discussed during a recent public meeting there.
Many of them didn't know about the plan to start next year, the 4-lane road from Charity to Supanam, and the other regions, some of the other regions already know about that, or the business incubator and the technique, the innovation hub that we plan to do in the region, the technical center so that all of those students who are on gold scholarships but doing technical studies, they don't have to come to Georgetown to do practicals.
Dr. Jagdeo announced plans to release approximately 5,000 acres of land outside the rural area for small farmers, with residents of the Pomeroon expected to benefit. These measures will be complemented by initiatives such as safer communities, direct state assistance for home construction and improvement, and policies to address the rising cost of living, a commitment, he stressed, that extends to all Guyanese. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, PP, Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, has dismissed reports that party members will be sanctioned by the United States government. Responding to a question posed by a reporter at his weekly press briefing at Freedom House yesterday, Dr. Jagdeo refuted the claims while explaining the severity of the sanctions imposed against the Mohammeds.
It's a lie. No PBP minister is on any sanction list or to be sanctioned.
Dr. Jagdeo went on to discuss how persons, including candidates on Azzuddin Mohammed's We Invest in Nationhood Win party list, are currently being affected due to their association with a sanctioned individual. A number of candidates have lost their bank accounts in recent weeks due to their association.
He said to people, you're not going to face consequences. Misled a lot of people. Now we have seen what's happening with all of these people who are on his candidates list losing their accounts because they're part of a formal organization headed by a sanctioned individual.
Dr. Jagdeo denied that the PBC has instructed banking institutions in Guyana to close the accounts of WIN party members. He urged the public to thoroughly read the sanction document issued by the Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, for the Mohammeds to understand the implications. As he explained, it states that financial institutions and other persons that engage in certain transactions or activities with sanctioned entities and individuals may expose themselves to sanctions.
Financial institutions and other persons that engage in certain transactions or activities with the sanctioned entities and individuals may expose themselves to sanctions or be subject to an enforcement action.
He added that if banks in the United States don't do due diligence as it relates to sanctioned individuals and their associates, they can eventually be fined or lose their licenses. Dr. Jagdeo explained that those banks need to have relationships with local banks through a correspondent banking relationship. Hence, the implications may stem from local banks doing business with sanctioned individuals or those associated with them. Emergency relief supplies have been delivered to flood-hit communities in Linden, where dozens of households were affected by flash flooding on Wednesday. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips on Thursday visited residents from Silvertown and the neighboring areas of 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Alley in Wismar, locations that bore the brunt of the floodwaters. To assist affected families, the Civil Defense Commission, CDC, swiftly mobilized support. An initial batch of cleaning supplies and food hampers was delivered to the Regional Democratic Council of Region 10 for distribution, with a second round of supplies arriving the same day. The hampers included food, disinfectants, and essential household items. The Prime Minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to delivering both immediate aid and sustainable flood mitigation. He noted that engineers from the RDC are already on the ground, conducting technical assessments of the drainage infrastructure to inform future improvements and reduce flood risk in the area. Accompanying the Prime Minister were key regional officials, including his regional representative for Region 10, Orrin Wilson, former Member of Parliament German Figueroa, Regional Executive Officer Dwight John, and Town Clerk of the Linden Mayor and Town Council, Lennox Gasper. Relief efforts are expected to continue over the coming days as assessments progress and cleanup operations begin. Preparations are ramping up at the Guyana National Stadium in Providence, where this year's International Building Expo is set to open on August 14th. The 2025 edition promises to be the biggest yet, with over 370 booths and major international participation. Ignite News reporter Kaylee Carter filed this report.
Thank you, Rihanna. With just 6 days remaining, the countdown is on for the Caribbean's largest building and construction showcase, the International Building Expo 2025. Preparations are in full swing here at the National Stadium, where the site is rapidly transforming into a hub of innovation set to unveil cutting-edge development that will shape the future of construction in Guyana. Leading the charge today was Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez, who conducted a site visit and walkthrough here at the stadium, ensuring everything is on track for the grand opening.
I just wanted to provide a quick update on the progress of Building Expo 2025. So as you can see, we are working feverishly to ensure that the location is prepared for Thursday's opening. So on Thursday, we open. The opening ceremony is at 5 o'clock. We are catering for 380 booths at the Expo. Those are the slots that we have made available. Out of that, we have about 365 that are already occupied.
This year's theme, The Road to Success, Guyana 2030 and Beyond, highlights the country's focus on innovation, collaboration, and sustainable development within the building sector. The Expo will feature hundreds of booths showcasing the latest construction technologies, resilient housing solutions, and infrastructure projects. Attendees can also look forward to significant initiatives like distribution of thousands of land titles and an interactive display of Guyana's first sustainable city model, underscoring the event's commitment to practical progress and growth.
During this Expo, we have the dream realized, but we are focusing mainly on title distribution. So we're currently preparing over 2,000 titles for distribution over the 4-day period. I know in the past that we focused a lot on the allocation, but we've been allocating all the time at the ministry or in the different regions, because we had our target to meet of 50,000 and we've surpassed that target. We continue to make house lots available for the people who are still waiting and who are eligible.
Whether you're a builder, investor, or simply curious about the future of our country, all eyes will be on the Providence Stadium next week. The International Building Expo will open its doors from August 14 to 17, helping to shape the nation's path forward. Reporting from the Guyana National Stadium at Providence, I'm Kaylee Carter for Ignite News. Back to you, Rihanna.
Thank you, Kaylee. With just days to go, anticipation is rising across sectors, from first-time homeowners to industry leaders. The International Building Expo 2025 is shaping up to be more than just an event. It's a blueprint for where Guyana is headed. Up next, a major boost for early education in Batavia, plus exciting new community projects on the way in Lima Sands. Stay with us.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
GUYANA Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose GUYANA's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back. Now we take you to Region 7 for the official opening of Batavia's first ever nursery school, a $38 million milestone for early learning. A major milestone was celebrated yesterday in the riverine community of Batavia, Region 7, with the commissioning of the village's first ever standalone nursery school. The new facility was officially opened by Education Minister Priya Manakchan. For years, Batavia's nursery-aged children were taught in a shared classroom within the Batavia Primary School, a building that opened back in 1998. While that setup served its purpose, it limited space and resources for both nursery and primary levels. The commissioning of the new nursery school, valued at $38 million, marks a significant investment in early childhood education and brings the community one step closer to parity with coastal regions.
So we just commissioned the Batavian Nursery School. The Batavia Primary School was opened in 1998, and this is the first nursery school for the village.
Minister Manakchan took the time to highlight the broader progress being made in hinterland education. She emphasized that nursery children in interior regions like Batavia now benefit from the same learning materials and opportunities as those in Georgetown, with even greater support in some areas.
They're getting all the resources that we give to every child in Georgetown, but they have an added plus. This is their view. The view of the Cuyana River that is nice and cooling, and so they're actually better off. We have to make sure our teachers are trained, which is what we're doing. We've moved from 43% trained teachers in the hinterland to 8 to 6% trained teachers in the hinterland now, with a larger number, so it's qualitatively and quantitatively better. And of course, the children in the hinterland not only get the cash grants, but they actually get more. For example, the teacher resources grant, each child gets $5,500 in the hinterland, while on the coast it's $4,500. So hinterland education is doing far better, and you're going to see the results shortly.
With a trained teaching workforce, increased grants, and purpose-built facilities like this one, the ministry says children in Ghana's hinterland are now being better equipped than ever before to succeed. Ghana is set to lead economic growth in Latin America and the Caribbean, with a projected expansion of 10.3% in 2025. This follows a remarkable surge of 43.6% in 2024, according to the latest report from the United Nations Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, or ECLAC. Growth in Ghana is expected to slow somewhat to 23% in 2026, driven by the boom in oil sector and ongoing infrastructure investments. By comparison, the wider region is forecasted to grow by just 2.2% in 2025 and 2.3% in 2026, held back by weak external demand, tight financial conditions, and various domestic challenges. South America is expected to grow by 2.7% next year, while Central America and Mexico face slower growth rates of 1% and 1.7% respectively, affected by a slowdown in the U.S. economy. Excluding Guyana, the Caribbean is projected to grow by 1.8% in 2025 and 1.7% in 2026. Challenges there include fluctuating tourism, high logistics costs, and climate vulnerabilities. ECLAC warns of ongoing global risks such as slower growth in major economies, rising protectionism, geopolitical tensions, and volatile commodity prices. These factors could drive inflation higher and limit government's policy options. The region is also expected to record a current account deficit of 1.1% of GDP in 2025, relying heavily on foreign investment and external debt, which limits economic flexibility. Meanwhile, domestic demand is forecast to remain weak, with private consumption slowing due to falling labor income and declining confidence. Investment is expected to stay subdued at around 18.5% of GDP. The government has handed over 4 development projects worth $33 million to Lima Sands Region 2, aimed at improving education, livelihoods, and community life. The package includes a new ICT center with 14 computers, 2 school buses, an upgraded community park, and commercial bakery equipment. Investments are geared at addressing long-standing needs and create opportunities for growth. Resident Nadia Williams said the ICC Center would give young people skills to open doors for their future. The buses are expected to ease transport costs, ensure children arrive at school safely, and boost attendance. Head teacher Pulmati Drake Paul called them a difference maker for parents. The refurbished park provides a safe space for children to play and for families to gather, while the bakery equipment will allow residents to launch small businesses and cut reliance on outside suppliers. Director General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mandala Ramraj, formally handed over the projects on Friday, joined by Andhra Regina Mayor Devin Mohan, Prime Minister's representative Arnold Adams, and Regional Executive Officer Susanna Sewak. He said the developments were in direct response to the requests made to President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali during a recent outreach. Several dates have been fixed to ensure the timely hearing of the ongoing 2020 elections fraud cases against members of the former APNU AFC coalition and staff of the Ghana Elections Commission. Attorney General Ananan Lal says the process has been slow due to multiple High Court interventions sought by the defense. He confirmed hearings will now take place from September 15 to 19th, September 22nd to 26th, October 21st to 24th, October 27th to the 31st, November 17th to the 21st, and November 24th to the 28th.
So these are slots that have been identified and fixed exclusively for the hearing of these charges. And upon the completion of these hearing dates, I think that the cases would have advanced tremendously.
The AG expressed disappointment that Ghana is heading into another election without the matter being resolved. Senior Magistrate Leon Daly is presiding over at least 28 criminal charges, including misconduct in public office, altering forged documents, and plotting to deceive electors. Those charged include PNCR activist Carl Smith Joseph, former Health Minister Valda Lawrence, former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, former Deputy CEO Roxanne Myers, former District 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo, and GCOM staffers Chevron February, Enrique Livan, Denise Bob Cummings, and Michelle Miller. Coming up, Ghana's oil production hits a new high with the One Guyana FPSO. Plus, local footballers secure a big win in the CONCACAF Under-15 tournament. Stay tuned for more Ignite News.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
You're watching Ignite News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. We resume with the latest boost in Ghana's oil output, followed by an exciting win for a young football team in Aruba. Oil production from Ghana's fourth and largest floating production, storage, and offloading FPSO vessel, One Guyana, has begun lifting the country's total crude output to more than 900,000 barrels per day, BPD, the government said on Thursday. The SBM offshore-built vessel, located in the Starbrook Block, will pump about 250,000 BPD from the Yellowtail and Redtail fields, discovered in 2019 and 2020. It is equipped with subsea umbilicals, risers, and flow lines, SURF, infrastructure to produce from 26 wells, and inject water alternating gas, WAG, into 25 hours. The addition of One Guyana boosts production from the previous combined average of 677,000 BPD from the Liza Destiny, Liza Unity, and Payara Prosperity FPSOs, operated by ExxonMobil and partners Hess Corp and CNOOC. The vessel is the first offshore Guyana to feature installed sparing on all gas processing compressors, allowing uninterrupted gas handling during maintenance. The Yellowtail Petroleum Production License, approved in 2022, includes stricter environmental and safety requirements, decommissioning safeguards, and measures aligned with Ghana's climate commitments. The Ministry of Natural Resources said it will continue to oversee the petroleum sector to ensure long-term national benefit and sustainable development. In sports, in their final group match at the CONCACAF Boys Under-15 Championship in Aruba, Ghana secured a 2-1 victory over Cuba, thanks to a stoppage time goal from Jermaine Garrett. Mark Glasgow opened the scoring for Ghana, and in the 22nd minute, and Garrett's strike in the second minute of the first half stoppage time sealed the win. The result marked Ghana's second consecutive victory in the tournament, following a difficult 5-0 defeat in their opening match against group winners Puerto Rico. They bounced back strongly with a convincing 3-1 win over the Cayman Islands before overcoming Cuba. Despite the back-to-back wins, Ghana did not claim the top spot in their group, as only the 4 group winners from League B advanced to the semi-finals. The team will now prepare for a final placement match to determine their overall standing in the competition. Aston Villa have completed the signing of a nice striker Evan Gesand for €26 million, with an initial €4.3 million in potential add-ons. The 24-year-old Ivory Coast international, who was born in France, scored 12 goals last season and was named Nicest Player of the Year as the club finished 4th in League One. Gesand becomes Villa's second senior signing of the summer, following the rival goalkeeper Marco Bissot from Brest. His addition strengthens manager Unai Emery's attacking options, with Ollie Watkins previously the only recognized centre forward in the squad. Villa's transfer of business comes as the club works to meet Premier League and UEFA financial regulations, after being fined €9.5 million for breaching squad cost ratio rules, with a further €12.9 million fine suspended pending compliance over 3 years. Known for his pace, dribbling and improved finishing, Gaza enjoyed a breakthrough season under Frank Hayes at Nice and says he is ready to give his all for Aston Villa. Still ahead, a tragic hospital death sparks outrage in Trinidad and Tobago. U.S. doubles its bounty on Venezuela's Maduro, and Israel faces international backlash over its Gaza's plan. Welcome back. We begin with the heartbreaking hospital tragedy in Trinidad and Tobago, followed by major international developments involving Venezuela and the Gaza conflict. In Trinidad and Tobago, grief has turned to outrage after the sudden death of 6-year-old Joshua Francois at the San Fernando Teaching Hospital. His parents Aaron and Amy Francois say their healthy, energetic son was admitted Wednesday night for a mild, dry cough. He was placed on oxygen and given a nebulizer, with no indication that his condition was serious. But on Thursday morning, Aaron, the child's father, says a nurse administered magnesium sulfate through an IV, causing Joshua to immediately react badly.
Normally, I don't really question the medical professionals as to what exactly they give him a son. Once they say like his antibiotics or his nebulizer, I need to know basis. Shortly after she administered that particular medicine through the IV, my son wake up one time and he started complaining about a burning sensation in his hand. Explaining himself to me that daddy, it burning in my hand, it burning in my hand, it burning in my hand, dada.
The IV was briefly removed but then reinserted after the nurse said the reaction was normal.
The nurse came back now and the nurse claimed that she was advised that children normally react irritably to the magnesium sulfate and it's okay. You can leave it and let it go. It's only for 20 minutes anyways. I say okay, trusting the nurses. So immediately after she started by that magnesium sulfate injection through the IV, my son started showing discomfort again. He started showing discomfort again, but I talking and I said, Joshua, relax. That I hurting my hand. It hurt my hand. I said, no, she said, no, leave it now, let me stay still. I said, well, okay. And I talking to him and I comforted him.
Moments later, Joshua went into shock. Despite attempts to resuscitate him, he died minutes later. The heartbreaking video plea from the shot parents has gone viral, fueling public outrage. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Bisesar has ordered an urgent investigation, and Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo has pledged full transparency. The Southwest Regional Health Authority confirms a formal case review is underway and says counseling is being offered to the family. Officials have extended condolences, promising a swift and thorough probe into the boys' tragic deaths. Internationally, the United States has doubled its reward for information, leading to the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, now offering $50 million. Attorney General Pam Bondi made an announcement yesterday, accusing Maduro of working with major criminal groups, including Trinidad Gang and Mexico's Sinaloa cartel.
Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country. To date, the DEA has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons linked to Maduro himself, which represents a primary source of income for the deadly cartels based in Venezuela and Mexico. Cocaine is often laced with fentanyl, resulting in the loss and destruction of countless American lives. The DOJ has seized over $700 million of Maduro-linked assets, including 2 private jets, 9 vehicles, and more. Yet Maduro's reign of terror continues. He is one of the largest narco-traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security. Therefore, we've doubled his reward to $50 million.
Venezuelan Foreign Minister Yvonne Gil dismissed the move as a ridiculous smokescreen, calling crude political propaganda aimed at pleasing the far right. The reward was first offered in 2020 at $15 million when U.S. prosecutors charged Maduro with drug trafficking. It rose to $25 million early this year, alongside sanctions on senior officials, before now reaching its highest level. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says Maduro has led the cartel de los Soles for over a decade, a group Washington labels a global terrorist organization, and blames for smuggling drugs into the United States. Finally, this evening, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has approved a controversial plan to take full military control of Gaza City, a move sparking fierce backlash at home and abroad. The decision followed an all-night security cabinet meeting in Jerusalem, where a majority backed the 5-point strategy: disarm Hamas, secure the return of all hostages, fully demilitarize Gaza, impose Israeli security control, and eventually install a civilian government with no ties to Hamas or the Palestinian Authority. But the plan has divided Israel's leadership. Opposition leader Yair Lapid called it a disaster, warning it could endanger hostages and soldiers. Military Chief of Staff Ayal Zamir and other top security officials have voiced similar concerns, and families of hostages being held by Hamas protested. International condemnation has been swift. UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk warned the plan would bring more killing, more unbearable suffering. Leaders from Belgium, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Portugal, and the UK accused Israel of worsening Gaza's humanitarian crisis. The UK's Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, called the move wrong and a path to more bloodshed. Germany has suspended all arms sales to Israel. Australia urged restraint, and Turkey accused Israel of aiming to forcibly displace Palestinians. Despite the mounting criticism, preparations for the Gaza City takeover are already underway. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you next time for more Ignite News.